In this video, we're going to have a look at how to enlarge shapes using a scale factor. Now, shapes can be enlarged using the scale factor. Now remember, the scale factor is the image length divided by the object length. Now that is the formula that you need to use when you're setting out your work, especially in an exam. But an easier way of remembering how to calculate the scale factor is the new image divided by the original image. So if we measure two sides, one on a new image and one on our original image, we can divide the side on the new image over the side of the original image to get our scale factor. We can also write the scale factor as a ratio, and that is going to be the scale factor, and we'll use SF for scale factor, is to 1. And it's always going to be is to 1. So that is the enlargement on the new image is to 1 of the original image. So for example, if I had a shape and the scale factor was 2.5, so my ratio was 2.5 on my new image to 1 on my original image, and my original image had a side of 2 centimeters, then to keep my ratio in proportion, the new image will have a side of 5 centimeters. And it is being enlarged 2.5 times the original image. So let's have a look at an example where we are enlarging an image using the scale factor provided. In this example, we want to enlarge the square labelled DEFG by a scale factor of 3. So in able to do that, the first thing we need to do is know all the sides of our square. So from D to E, the side is going to be 4 centimeters. And from G to F, 4 centimeters as well. And from D to G, that is going to be 3 centimeters. And E to F, 3 centimeters. So now that I know what the sides of my rectangle are, I can go ahead and calculate the scale factor. And remember, my scale factor is 3. And I can write that also as a ratio of 3 is to 1. So if I've got a side of 4 centimeters in my original image, then I'm going to have a side of 4 times 3, so 12, in my new enlarged image. And then if I've got a side of 3 in my original image, I'm going to have a side of 3 times 3 being 9 in my new enlarged image. So using that information, I can go ahead and fill out my table that's going to help me draw my enlarged image. So side D to E is 4 centimeters, E to F is 3 centimeters, F to G is 4 centimeters, and G to D is 3 centimeters. And my enlarged one, I'm going to go 4 times 3 equals 12. 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 times 3 equals 12. And 3 times 3 equals 9. So now I know I need to draw a rectangle where 2 of my sides are going to be 12 and the other 2 sides are going to be 9 centimeters. Alright, so I choose a spot where I'm going to start my rectangle, and then for the corresponding line from D to E, I'm going to want to measure 12 centimeters and then put another dot. And that's going to be my first line that I need to draw. Now I continue, and I'm going to draw one of my sides, which is going to need to be 9. So continuing on from the dot before, I measure 9 centimeters and draw another line. And then continuing on, I need to draw another line of 12 centimeters down the bottom, So measuring from where I finished off, put my dot and draw the line. And then now I should be able to join up my rectangle by drawing another line that should be 9 centimeters long. So now I can go ahead and label my new rectangle, which I have drawn using a scale factor of 3 from my original image. So my original image is going to be the object, and my new one is going to be the image. And it's going to have a side of 12, 9, 12, and 9. So that's the first way I can use a scale factor to be able to draw an enlarged image from the original object. Let's have a look at a second example. In our second example, we are going to use a center of enlargement to enlarge the triangle ABC, but this time it's going to be with a scale factor of 2. So the first step that I need to do is find my center of enlargement, which in this case is my point O, away from the triangle, and then draw guidelines in from O, passing through B, A, and C. So we'll do B first. So starting at O, lining up my ruler, so it goes from O to B, and then just draw a dotted guideline, continuing up well past B. I need to continue and do the same thing with A and for C. So starting at O, lining up with A, and drawing a dotted guideline, passing through A, and starting with O, and drawing a dotted line, passing through C. So these are going to act as my guidelines for when I'm enlarging my shape. Now the next step is I need to measure how far it is from O to B. And from O to B, that is telling me that it is 4.5 centimeters. So I'm going to make a note of that in my table, 4.5 centimeters. And I measured from here all the way up to there. So I need to do the same for O to A. So measuring from O to A, and that's telling me that it's 3 centimeters. And from O to C, which is telling me that it is 5 centimeters. So I measured from O to A, and then from O to C. So now that I've got my correct measurements, O to A, O to B, and O to C, I can go ahead and work out what my enlarged measurements are going to be. So I'm using a scale factor of 2:1. So if my original image is 3, then the length of my new image is going to be 6. Same thing, if my original is 4.5, then timesing it by 2, the length of my new one is going to be 9. And if I'm using 5, then timesing it by 2, the length to draw my new image is going to be 10. So I can go ahead and complete my table. That's going to help me with my drawing my enlarged image. So O to A, the new A is going to be 6 centimeters. O to the new B is going to be 9 centimeters. And O to the new C is going to be 10 centimeters. So now that I have my measurements, I need to go back and start drawing my new triangle. And I need to do that by placing my ruler back starting at O along the guideline. Now O to B we said was 4.5. So I want my new image, or my new image is going to start at 9, because that is double 4.5. So starting at O and drawing a dot 9 centimeters along the guideline. So I'm measuring all the way from O up to my new dot, which is 9 centimeters. And that's going to be my new B point. I need to do the same from O to A, measuring along the guideline. And it is going to be measuring up to 6 centimeters. So starting at O and putting a dot where C at 6 and calling that my new A, because I've measured from O all the way up to A. And I need to finish off by placing my third dot, again starting at O. This one needs to go from O up to 10 centimeters. So starting at O, measuring up to 10, putting a new dot and calling it C, the new C, and I've measured from O all the way up to C, being 10 centimeters. So now that I have the dots for my new triangle, I can go ahead and join them up. So by joining the dots up to form a triangle, and I'll just fix up the label for A, I can see that my new triangle is going to be 2 times the size of my original triangle. So my original triangle is the object, and my new one is going to be the image. And by using the guidelines and the center of enlargement, I was able to draw an enlarged triangle with a scale factor of 2.